Hello, and welcome to Nation of Animation, a cartoon book club podcast for all ages. My name is Brooke Aaron Smith.
Hi, and I'm Ryan Stevens.
And it's a special episode day.
It's a very special Valentine special. Love is in the air. Romance is on the airwaves.
Special?
It is. And now you may be thinking, this is a little early in a show's runtime to be doing an experimental episode, to be breaking format. And that's where you're wrong, kiddo, because we're going to do it how we want to. It's animation. This is experimental. We're doing whatever we want. What are we doing today? That's whatever we want.
Today, I'm very excited about this. It was also my idea, so
it was
that's
a good
why
one.
I'm even more excited about it. We will be counting down our 10 favorite couples in animation.
Ooh.
You know who my favorite couple in animation, though, is? I'll go ahead and tell you.
Who is it?
Me and you.
Wow, okay. Good. Wow, really?
Yeah.
All right, well, that's it, folks. Thanks for joining us. The state of... No. I can't say the full closer, else we're contractually obligated to end the episode there, so...
I don't think that's true.
Then what did I sign? What contract did I sign? Okay.
All right. So we're counting down our 10 favorite animation couples. Super excited about it. Mm-hmm. We do have some criteria that went into it.
Right. This was a scientific process. We thought this through. So one of the big things is we are choosing cartoon couples from series, not movies. So that does cut out a lot of great couples, like Max and Roxanne from the Goofy movie, or Extremely Goofy
I was
movie.
Like, who is that?
But
now I know who you're talking about, yeah.
Wow.
But really, if you're talking Goofy movie, Extremely Goofy movie, it's Goofy and the Hot Librarian.
You're absolutely right. Another couple that is unfortunately ineligible because it's in a film and not a TV show.
But if we did movies, we're opening ourselves up a lot to like all the Disney couples.
Every single Disney couple.
Every Disney princess and her
Every
brother.
Pixar couple.
Yeah. So it's just from series, not from movies. Mm-hmm. We also wanted to see an extended, sustained relationship, in part because we sort of wanted to avoid spoilers. Because so many relationships are like slow burn, will they, won't they? And then at the end they do. And then we've spoiled the whole series for you. So we're trying not to do that.
This was mainly a Brooke campaign because I really wanted to get into some spoilers. But we'll talk about that later. But we have protected your viewing experience of all these shows.
I was doing a kindness. And, we're talking couples. I want an established couple. I want people who have been together their whole freaking lives. Look at them.
Yeah, we're not looking at top animated courtships. We're looking at top animated couples, actual relationships where they are on screen together, working through their relationship with each other, not all this like, do you like me, do you not? Bull crap.
You love it. It's your favorite.
I love it, but that's not what we're here for today. That'll be a future special. Like and subscribe and share, and then next year we'll talk about our top animated slow burn shipping special.
Great. So in the spirit of Valentine's Day, the season of love, let's begin. So number 10, I will...
Number 10!
Number 10 was most certainly my pick. But I think Ryan agrees with me.
I do agree. I was excited about it. I didn't think of this one at first when we came up with this idea, but when Brooke said it, I was like, oh, absolutely.
So number 10, Birdie and Speckle from Tuca and Birdie, originally on Netflix, eventually on Adult Swim.
You screwed up, Netflix. You let a good one get away.
That is very true. So they are voiced by Ali Wong and Steven Yeun. I love them. If you haven't seen the show is about Tuca and Birdie, who are two best friends, but Birdie and Speckle are the little couple. The main premise is, at the beginning of the show is that Birdie has moved out of her apartment with Tuca to move in with her boyfriend, Speckle. They're sort of new to the world of animation. I mean, sort of. They've had one season, which is probably why they're not higher up on the list. So that's why they're coming in at number 10. I would say it's a strong number 10, though. It's not like, oh, we're slipping them in at number 10. No, they are number 10, and one day will be number 1.
Yeah, they'll keep climbing the rankings as their show continues, probably.
Yeah. Without giving spoilers about Tuca and Birdie, these two go through some really rocky times. And it gets very sad, but it's also very realistic and endearing. And their animation is so cute. They're both just little birds. They're two different types of birds. I believe Speckle is a robin. And Birdie is a little brown bird. I don't know what bird exactly. I'd have to do some more research. But they're so cute. And Speckle has this picture of himself in the house that he loves so much. And I thought that was wonderful. Of course you should love a picture of yourself, Speckle.
Speckle's character, how would you describe his personality? Because it's kind of boring, but in a good way. He is sort of depicted as very mundane and happy with his architecture job, and he's not a particularly zany or crazy animated character. He's pretty reasonable and realistic, and sometimes that's a little bland, but he really makes the bland kind of fun.
He is just a sweetheart. You think of dependable man. Speckle from Tuca and Birdie. And they're both very sort of different people. Birdie has her day job at a company, but then she wants to be a baker. That's her big thing. And then, like Ryan said, Speckle is sort of content in his job as an architect.
The bad boy of architecture.
Yes. He's the bad boy of architecture. They're very different people, and I really appreciate how they really make an effort to see each other's sides. I'm thinking of one specific episode where they're trying to spice up their love life and they start watching porn together, and Birdie's not super into it, whereas Speckle kind of is. But what Birdie loves is The Nests of Netherfield, which is a Downton Abbey, Pride and Prejudice sort of
period drama
show that she loves. And to her, that's the height of romance. And Speckle does not get it. But then one day before she leaves for work, he sets up the Nests of Netherfield in their house, just to make her happy and to say, I've been listening to you, and I know you like this.
A beautiful romantic gesture from Speckle there with the Nests of Netherfield.
It's really just so sweet, and is one of the big reasons, besides some spoilery parts I really won't spoil, but that I love, that lands them at number 10 on our definitive list.
Number 10.
Of cartoon couples.
And coming up next, we have number 9, which is Homer and Marge Simpson from The Simpsons.
Ba-ba-da.
The classic Simpsons theme we all know and love.
I wasn't trying to do the theme.
I know. It was just... It could have been anything. I know it wasn't. Okay. So the thing about Homer and Marge Simpson is they kind of had to be on the list. They are iconic. They are this emblematic couple of American animation. And they're also huge the world over. The Simpsons is a pop culture juggernaut. There's no real stopping it now that it's in its 31st or 32nd or 55th season, however long it's been. So what is really exciting and I think important about Homer and Marge's longevity as a couple is at its heart, it's about two people who are aware of their shortcomings and love each other in spite of them. Homer, of course, is sort of a doofus, kind of an oaf. He's clumsy. He drinks a lot of beer. He's not the smartest person in the world. And Marge still loves him anyway. And Marge is, often in the show relegated to housekeeping and staying at home and doesn't have all these ambitions. And at the best episodes of The Simpsons that focus on their relationship, we see Marge getting to stretch her ambitions and live her dreams, and Homer supporting them in his own often doofy way. There's a certain episode called Streetcar Named Marge where Marge wants to try out acting and she gets cast in A Streetcar Named Desire, and Homer at first is resistant to this because it doesn't like her. Having fun without him is what it ultimately becomes, because he really loves his wife and he wants to be there for her, and he eventually realizes the error of his ways and lets her go be in the play, which sounds not like that big of a gesture, and he really shouldn't get that much points for it because it's not that hard to let the people you care about do the things they want to do, but apparently that's how it is in The Simpsons sometimes. Now, they're low on the list, and you may be saying to yourself, if they're so emblematic and iconic, why are they number 9 on the list? Well, that's because time has kept happening to The Simpsons, and as they keep making them, that relationship kind of is not as fun as it used to be. If you've been watching The Simpsons for a while, or even if you're kind of online and know about The Simpsons, you know that the show is not as quality as it used to be. And now Homer in particular as a character over the years, over the seasons, has just become kind of a jerk, just a big old jerk ass. He's not fun to be around. He's really mean where he used to just be kind of clueless. And Marge is still standing by with this not cool dude. And it's just not as much of a enjoyable romantic pairing as it used to be.
I will say I know very little about The Simpsons, which I know sounds sacrilegious on our animation show. I have seen some episodes, but I haven't followed it through its, 30-season career. But one thing that I think about when I think of Homer that's a nice thing, this is like a Tumblr post, I think, but it's Homer at work for Mr. Burns, and there are all these signs around him like, you're going to die here.
Don't forget you're here forever.
Yeah. And then he puts up all the pictures of Maggie, the baby, on them to like say, this is why I'm working.
Right.
And that really endears me to Homer. I know that's an earlier episode, obviously, but like seeing him as a strong father in that moment, even though in other times that's obviously negated, like, doesn't he beat the shit out of Bart? Like,
there's a fun quote unquote running gag where he'll choke Bart out when they get in an argument.
Oh yeah. So
that's
not great. Yeah. So these are voiced by Dan Castellaneta and Julie Kavner, have been the whole time, I believe. And obviously, a landmark couple really for their longevity alone.
Right.
And then everyone in the world knows who Homer and Marge Simpson are.
They're the Kennedys of animated couples.
Yeah. But their dynamic, I think, has since been improved upon by other animated shows that we'll get to as we go along with the list.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
Yeah. So that is number 9. Homer and Marge.
And next is number 8. That's not a surprise because that's how numbers work. But who is on the number 8 spot might be a surprise because this is actually our first time as Nation of Animation talking about anime in any respect, in any capacity. So number 8 is Vegeta and Bulma from Dragon Ball Z. Brooke, why don't you tell us about these characters?
You know that I know nothing at all about this. I'm so sorry. I have not watched Dragon Ball Z, except for maybe catching it when I was a kid sometimes. I know very little about it. Anime is not my favorite. I won't pretend.
And I think that's because of a lack of exposure. Like,
maybe so.
What you've seen you may not like, but there's a lot out there. But anyway.
But my favorite shows are like Tuca and Birdie and like Bob's Burgers, which are a little different from anime, but that's okay.
From some anime.
We like different styles of animation, and that's why we're such a good cartoon couple.
Listeners, stick with the show. We will get Brooke to watch some anime, and this is the long con for this whole show. Brooke's not listening to this part. This is a
Yes,
secret.
I am. I'm right here.
I was hoping the more I talked about anime, you'd just kind of tune out and let me have a secret with the listeners. Anyway
though, Vegeta and Bulma, whose name I would maybe pronounce Vegeta.
Please do not. So Vegeta and Bulma are voiced by different people in different versions of the show. Since it's anime, there's of course an original Japanese audio. Then there are different dubbings that have happened in America. Vegeta has been voiced in different versions by Ryo Horikawa, Chris Sabat, and Laura Bailey. And Bulma has been voiced by Hiromi Tsuru, Monica Rial, and Tiffany Vollmer. They are, again, from the show Dragon Ball Z. Vegeta is initially a bad guy. He starts as like an evil version of the main character Goku in Dragon Ball Z. He's a Saiyan, which is basically Superman. Like, he's an alien from another planet who looks human and then attacks all of our heroes and stuff. Bulma is a human. She is a super genius inventor. They start as enemies, and then eventually, slowly, it's one of the few times that Dragon Ball Z does like long-term character building, which I like the show, but it's not really about character, it's about fights. But they do well by these two characters, where they go from enemies to friends to eventually lovers. They have a child who comes back from the future at one point because it's quite silly, anime is sometimes. But they are happily married in canon for over 20 years. And that's a nice, loving, long-lasting relationship. So that is one of the most fun and enjoyable relationships in anime. I think personally, there are definitely other ones that are also full of nuance and exciting stuff, but this is one that I think has really stood the test of time.
Now, I don't know if you remember when you were pitching that they should be on the list, what you said to convince me.
Go ahead. What did I say?
Which was that Bulma, oh, I don't want to swear, boned.
Gave Vegeta that good loving to turn him good.
Good, yeah.
Which is essentially what happened,
like, effectively, their
Congress.
carnal relationships were so good
that he gave up evil.
Vegeta became a good guy.
Yeah, that is basically what happens. If you've seen the show, Vegeta goes from absolutely evil to just kind of a jerk and still mean and hating all of our hero characters, but then he has this relationship with Bulma, and then almost overnight, he's like wearing t-shirts and going to cookouts and just like hanging out.
That's nice.
I know, yeah. He has a very strong, humane relationship with Bulma, and her romantic powers and endearing personality win him over to the good guy team. And that's why Vegeta and Bulma are number 8.
Great. Now, number 7.
Number 7.
This one, in a few ways, we are like breaking our own rules on this one.
But when you hear who for, I think you'll forgive us.
So, number 7 is from a Nickelodeon show, from the Nickelodeon show Hey Arnold. And it is Arnold and Helga Pataki.
Hey Arnold himself
and
Helga Pataki.
Apparently his last name is Shortman.
That's very funny.
And that's why his grandpa always says, hey
short
man.
Wouldn't his last name also be Shortman?
I think that
or is
they
it his
are
mother's
his
dad?
mom's. I could be wrong on that, actually. I think I'm wrong.
Okay. So he's also Shortman. Okay.
Yeah, I guess so. Because in that one episode, they show sort of their, like, history. And yeah, they're definitely his dad's parents. Anyway.
God, Hey Arnold's so good. Can't wait to do a Hey Arnold episode.
Good.
Anyway.
So, Arnold and Helga. And are they a couple? No.
But.
Yes. When I was doing some research on it, their shipping name is Short Tacky, which was funny to me. I love them.
Sure.
I love Helga, most of all. Her shrines to Arnold, unparalleled. And she has the one in her closet. She can erect a shrine anywhere. That girl can make an Arnold shrine out of
She
anything.
can craft in no time flat.
Some mud, and some grass to make his little face. I mean, that's love. And obviously, she's the bully of the show.
Sure.
She's not really the antagonist,
Right. She is an obstacle often.
Yes. But the depth of her love for Arnold, I mean, there's so much I could say about it. He brings out a poetic nature in her. She can write these things to, rival Keats because of her love for Arnold. And she also will, secretly, covertly betray her bullying ways to help Arnold. So if Arnold needs help with something, Helga's the one who's orchestrating it. She's making sure it gets done. And I love that. I love Helga so much with her unibrow. She is a strong woman. And if you're thinking, maybe you're wrong, Brooke. Maybe were not supposed to be together because she was a bully and Arnold was supposed to be with that red-haired girl with the braids.
Whose name I don't even remember.
No.
Because she's not as important.
No.
She's a nobody.
Yeah. I would say you're wrong because in my steadfast research, creator Craig Bartlett has confirmed that the two are meant for each other and in the future they get married and have 3 misbehaving kids.
So that's word of God. So deal with it, you haters.
Similar to many other very famous couples like Homer and Marge, previously mentioned, and another couple that's going to be mentioned.
We'll get there.
later.
We'll get there.
So I love them. They're on the list because of the sustained nature of Helga's pining for Arnold. Also, they were put on, I allowed them, and you allowed them too, I think, to be put on the list because their relationship is not really a spoiler.
Right. It's Helga's whole character.
Yeah, she loves this boy. Yes, I could not leave them off.
Yeah.
And I also could not place them any lower than number
7. Before we move on, I do have one more quick anime thing to talk about. Which
What?
is because Helga is a character. There's a type of character in anime called a tsundere, and I'm sure I butchered that. But it's basically Helga Pataki. It's a character who at first seems standoffish and mean and angry because they're trying too hard to hide their feelings for a romantic character. I looked up examples of a tsundere like Helga Pataki. Got a bunch of anime women here. But on the list also, you want to read who came up as an example? Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. Which just really tickled me. 2 in a row. So that is Hey Arnold and Helga Pataki, or Short Tacky if you prefer. So moving on now to number 6. We have the magical couple of Cosmo and Wanda from The Fairly Odd Parents. Voiced by Darren Norris and Susan Blakesley, respectively. This fun-loving fairy godparent couple has been together for 9,850 years, according to the early episode A Partnership. They have been sort of a fun duo since the show started in 2001, which, looking up that stat, made my toes curl, made my teeth hurt.
You feel a little old?
A lot old, actually. Did not enjoy that fun fact. But yeah, these two, I think, are a fun permutation on the sort of typical gendered Homer and Marge couple, where Cosmo is also foolish and impulsive and silly and not the best decision maker. And Wanda is more intelligent and sensible, which sometimes forces her to act as a sort of wet blanket for the plot. But they never get mean. The show rarely punches down or like makes them mean to each other. I do think that sometimes the show leans too much into like Cosmo being dumb as a source of like diminishing returns for humor. But I do think as a character, as a couple, these two are pretty much always in lockstep, and you can't get more strong as a relationship than being together for almost 10,000 years.
No, I love Cosmo and Wanda. And you see sort of in, not even necessarily the later episodes, like I would say mid-series, they start sort of leaning into the fact that Wanda's also kind of an idiot. And that's why they go well together.
Right.
You know, and that's sort of a character change.
Because at a certain point, like, the show has to keep going. And Wanda can't keep going, no, be not silly.
But lest we all forget, this is sort of a spoiler, but I would say it's been out for over 10 years. So if you haven't seen it, I would guess maybe you don't want to. That's okay.
Also, Fairly Odd Parents, not really a continuity heavy show. So.
But this is. Who bears their baby poof?
That's true. Cosmo
it's Cosmo!
does. Yeah.
What a fun little reversal of gender roles there. Cosmo has the baby.
Some great impreg content for the mass market of the world.
I thought it was nice.
It is nice.
And Wanda's a very attentive partner when Cosmo is pregnant with baby Poof. And yeah, I really love Cosmo and Wanda. And we talk about how iconic someone like Homer and Marge is. Cosmo and Wanda are so iconic. You put a pink object and a green object beside each other. You're like, Cosmo and Wanda ain't slick. That was like a big meme on Twitter or whatever.
That's true. Yeah, the color clarity is really indicative of how sort of universally known this couple is. So good for them. Yeah. And that's why they are our number 6.
Number 6.
So that's the back half of our list. We're now for the top 5 animated relationships ever. So why don't you take us away to number 5?
Now, number 5 is a couple. We talked about iconic couples a lot because it's a top 10 list. This one, I mean, some people would definitely put this couple at number 1. And I could understand their reasoning, but this is Brooke and Ryan's top.
Yeah. Go listen to their animation podcast. Don't. Stay. Stay with us, please.
Please don't go. Yes. A truly classic relationship, one with probably the most influence, honestly, out of any couple on the list. And it's Mickey and Minnie Mouse. Sometimes I forget about them. Like, they're so classic that they slip my mind.
They're less characters so much as just, like, symbols.
Yeah.
I think it's for any animated character on this list, so all of them, you could also say that because they're just, like, drawings. But Mickey and Minnie are icons in the truest meaning of the word.
Yeah. You know, and in some ways, you really can't have one without the other. You think, Mickey, who does he go with? Minnie. Minnie goes with Mickey. But they also have their own larger brand. If you go to Disney World, there are some people who are just there to see Minnie. But
the cult of personality around Minnie Mouse.
I mean, there are Minnie Mouse watches you can buy, Minnie Mouse backpacks.
Well, that's just Disney capitalizing on every
but
character.
I think that Minnie has a specific popularity that appeals to mostly women, you know? They love Minnie Mouse. And Minnie and Mickey, despite, you know, how old they are as a couple, not in a derogatory way, just like the length of their relationship.
Right, how they're the reason copyright law keeps getting changed.
They reject traditional marriage views. They're not married officially, though I read in one thing Walt Disney was like, yeah, they've been married since this time. It's like, well, it doesn't count if they didn't have a Disney wedding.
Anti-Semite.
That's true, yes. But 2 of their voice actors, Wayne Allwine and Rusty Taylor, got married in real life.
Oh, that's fun.
Because they were Mickey and Minnie.
That's so cute.
Not because that's how they met, you know. But this is more sad. They did have to keep their marriage a secret because they did not want it to change people's views on Mickey and Minnie because they
Wow.
weren't married. Which also sort of speaks to, like, some of the negativity within the Disney machine.
Disney's stranglehold on its IP.
Yeah. But I like Mickey and Minnie. They're number 5, not necessarily because they're my favorite couple, but because they have such an influence. If we're thinking of sweet moments, though, if you have seen Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, which is a movie, not a series, I know.
Breaking all the rules.
They do a little gift of the Magi. I sold my hair to buy you a watch chain.
I sold my watch to buy you a hairbrush.
I think it's a hair comb.
A hair comb.
But you get the gist.
Yeah.
Very sweet. Just very classic. And that sort of sums them up. Sweet and classic. And that's why they are
number 5. Real quick, I have to cop to this. This is my Valentine's holiday hot take. Brooke wanted Mickey and Minnie to be like number 1. I wanted them to be number 10 or not even on the list. Because Disney has all the money and fame in the world. And 2, I think that they're so iconic that part of me sometimes forgets that they have characters. And they just become these like symbols or logos. But that's just me. So we've agreed to split the difference and put them right in the middle. Just wanted to say that before we move on.
Yeah.
So next is number 4. Is this bit getting old yet, do you think? Saying the numbers like this?
I think you've done it for so long now. We have to keep it
going
no matter what.
Okay, so we've made our bed, now we must lie in it. Number 4 are Hank and Peggy Hill from King of the Hill, voiced by Mike Judge and Kathy Najimy, respectively. This is another sort of different permutation on the Homer and Marge gender binary, the gender relationship dichotomy. And this one I think is cool because this was happening around the same time. This is an older show. This show, King of the Hill, is not happening currently. Sadly, I'd kill for a King of the Hill reboot. I love that show. Hank and Peggy as these sort of blue-collar, working-class Texans. Hank, of course, who sells propane and propane accessories. Peggy, who has a teaching degree and gets a number of gigs across that show.
I love Peggy.
Peggy's great. Peggy's such a fun character. They are a really solid sort of middle-class couple. They still have their differences. I think Hank and Peggy are such rich characters, and this kind of goes for everyone on King of the Hill. I think this is such a richly written show that the animation sometimes is like, why is this animated? Because it's not really that crazy or zany with the animation. It's just really realistic characters that happen to be drawn instead of live action people. And I think Hank and Peggy are the cornerstone of that, their relationship, and how Peggy has a bit of an ego to her and really sees herself as a genius, and Hank is sort of, willing to indulge because he loves her and he sees he sees what makes her so brilliant and fun to be with is really, really cool. They are high school sweethearts, although some episodes contradict this with little inconsistencies. But that's animation, folks. That's TV. That happens. But canonically, most of the time, we are meant to think that they are high school sweethearts who are raising their sweet son, Bobby.
Yes, one of the things that really is a testament to their success as a couple is that their genes combined to create Bobby Hill.
It is absolutely no one else could have created this incredible little bundle of whatever Bobby Hill is.
Bobby is one of my favorite characters in animation. One day, of course, we'll do a King of the Hill episode because how can not?
We? Yeah.
And I can talk about my love for Bobby.
Bobby Hill. That's my purse. I don't know you. All-time great quote.
Will you do your Hank impression?
I'll try. Whoa! My God, are you still talking?
Say Bobby.
Bobby.
Great.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
There you go. Better than my Bob Belcher impression went, I think. We'll see. You can tell us. But yeah, that is Hank and Peggy Hill. Much more evenly handed, realistic couple than Homer and Marge. Not that anyone's going to The Simpsons for realism, but there it is. That's King of the Hill's crown jewel of relationships, and that's why they are our number 4 relationship.
And now we move on to
number 3.
Number 3. This one was my doing. And I feel comfortable taking credit for that because I think it's really good.
As you should. It's really good. You should take all the credit for it.
This couple, I think, would be an unexpected number 3 spot. But I really do stand by it. Even more so. now. This is Plankton and Karen from SpongeBob. They are voiced by Mr. Lawrence and Jill Talley. Now, Jill Talley is the wife of Tom Kenny, who voices SpongeBob. So, little tidbit, trivia for you there. I love Plankton and Karen. If you don't know, Karen is a computer. Mm-hmm. She was created by Plankton to be his wife.
His computer wife, yes.
Which may sound dubious at best, nefarious at worst, but Karen really has her own agency. She's not afraid to go against Plankton. She's not afraid to voice her own opinions, but at the same time, she's very supportive. Because Plankton's the villain, and he's always scheming. And Karen's helping him because she's way better at scheming because she's so smart. Computer. Yeah. This was very sweet. I looked at this today when I was doing some research on it. Stephen Hillenburg named Karen after his wife, Karen Hillenburg. And if you don't know, Stephen Hillenburg passed away, 2 years ago maybe now, which is very, I think everybody, even if you weren't necessarily a huge SpongeBob fan, you were pretty sad about that because he left such a mark on entertainment. Yeah. And I think it's very sweet that Karen is named after his wife. But yeah, I love the two of them together. They work so well. And some of their conversations I read are improvised.
That's
Mr.
great.
Lawrence and Jill Talley will get in the
so
booth and improvise their conversations. And Mr. Lawrence said that's one of his favorite parts of voice acting on SpongeBob. Jill Talley's really cool. She's been in a lot of other cool things, and her and Tom Kenny have acted together in some things. They were in the music video for the Smashing Pumpkins song. Is it called Tonight?
Yeah, Tonight.
Yeah, they are in that music video together.
That's fun.
So you can look that up. That's another romance. Yeah, love these two. One of my favorite Plankton Karen moments. It's a season 3 episode, so very early in SpongeBob. It's called The Algae's Always Greener, and Plankton, he becomes so dissatisfied with his life and even being married to his beautiful computer wife. And he switches places with Mr. Krabs. And then after living as Mr. Krabs, he realizes how good he's got it because he has a wife who will make him holographic meatloaf.
Which, of course, because Plankton in real life eat light. They photosynthesize, so holographic meatloaf.
That works great.
Yeah. I think also one thing about this whole pairing is that the term computer wife is so funny to me. It's like cellar door. It's just the most beautiful combination of words. Computer wife. It's very, very good. Also, just the visual, because Plankton is quite small, and Karen, for most of the show, was, a huge screen with like a waveform that would be her mouth. And then in later episodes, I think they gave her like a mobile body to roll around in. But still, it's the character design and the sense of scale between these two was always really fun. It was really smart design from Mr. Hillenburg and the whole SpongeBob team.
Yeah, I love Plankton and Karen. They are two, I wanted to say people, they're not really people, two creatures that work so well together. And that is what earned them their number 3 position on the list. Luckily, I also get to do number 2.
And this is one we'll be familiar with. This number 2 is one we have discussed before on the show.
Yeah, I don't think this would be a surprise to anyone. And I almost campaigned to put him at number 1, though I think when people see number 1, they'll see why it's number 1. But number 2 is Bob and Linda from Bob's Burgers, voiced by H. John Benjamin and John Roberts. Oh my gosh, what can I say?
Welcome back to the show, Bob and Linda. Welcome back to Nation of Animation.
If you've heard our earlier episodes, you know how much I love Bob's Burgers. It's probably my favorite show on TV right now, and that's not just animation. That's, live action too. Yeah, it's really my true favorite. These two people are willing to do almost anything for each other. Like Linda has committed much of her life to helping Bob achieve his dream of running a burger restaurant. How sweet. And they seem like such opposites. Linda is very upbeat and optimistic and peppy, almost to an annoying extent. And then you've got very deadpan, more serious Bob,
who's kind of miserable, especially in the early episodes.
In the early episodes,
it feels like he truly hates his life.
Yeah, though I think that goes away as it goes on.
Because of Linda, probably.
Yeah, because Linda's so great. And Bob would do anything for Linda, too.
Mm-hmm.
This is sort of spoilery, but I'm not really revealing a lot of plot.
Again, not a huge continuity show.
Yeah.
I think we can discuss the episodes.
This is in the newest season, season 11, where Linda's parents fly into the airport and Bob drives them 2 hours to see them. And he even says, he'll go visit him in Florida too for Linda because he's doing it for Linda.
And to be clear, the sacrifice might not be apparent, but Linda's parents are terrible.
Yeah,
they're some of the most unenjoyable characters I've ever seen on a show. I loathe this episode.
I kind of like Linda's parents. But, and that's just one example of all the ways that even Bob will go to bat for Linda and do anything for Linda. Some of my favorite Bob and Linda moments, they're usually Linda-centric episodes. I'm thinking right now of like Lindependent Woman, where Linda goes and gets a job, a part-time job, so she's not at the restaurant so much. And Bob realizes how much he's missing her, and they sing a beautiful song together, but apart. It's so sweet. And then there's another Linda episode, Eat, Spray, Linda. It's Linda's birthday. And Bob, even though they're poor and they can't afford anything, does this whole spa day for Linda. And she loves it when she gets home because Bob really does know her and knows what she'll like. And one last Bob and Linda moment. Oh, so sweet. They're playing this game called Narts, which is napkin darts.
Right.
And Linda is really good at it, and Bob is really bad. And the whole episode, he's like rooting against Linda. He gets so competitive until the very end when he has this little internal monologue like, that's my wife. I should want her to be the best at everything because I love her and she's my best friend. It's
really sweet.
So it shows, the depth of their relationship and also their flaws and then how they really feel about each other. It's so kind. And in that way, I think this relationship sort of improves upon Homer and Marge.
Yeah, this is the new gold standard of like heterosexual, like adults, couples. Yeah. There's also, what's the early episode where they play like romantic dice or whatever? And it's like, oh, we're going to hug on the chair. Oh, I'm going to lick your ear.
It's the Belchies they go and the kids are going to.
It's like a Goonies thing.
Yeah. The Taffy Factory. Yeah, another sweet one. And another sweet moment. You've just reminded me of this. I forgot about this. Bob does a strip tease for Linda. And Bob, he's not a guy who's in shape or whatever. Linda loves it, and then Bob is getting heckled by people who see it on the street, and he's like, no, I'm going to do it anyway for my wife, for Valentine's Day. And they do it to, I think, She's Got the Jack.
I think so.
AC/DC or something like. It's an AC/DC song. It's so sweet. There are so many sweet moments that it's really even hard to condense them down because these are two people who love each other. And if you've listened to our Bob's Burgers episode, I also talk about The Ring But Not Scary, which is another sweet moment. I won't go into it here because you probably already heard my spiel.
Go listen to our other episodes.
But yeah, Bob and Linda, almost number one, but instead they are
number two. And it's almost time, listener, for our number one animated couple. But before we get there, we want to take some time and honor the couples that almost but didn't quite make the list. So we're just going to run through a few of these.
Now, they may not have made it because they went against our set parameters of not a slow burn.
Right.
So some of these are people
who are
who,
late in the game, late in the series twists. So these honorable mention couples are about to involve spoilers for Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra, Kim Possible, Adventure Time, She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, and Danny Phantom. If you don't want to hear spoilers for these couples, you can skip ahead about a minute and a half in your podcatcher, and then you will be safely out of the spoiler zone. So, honorable mentions.
Kim Possible and Ron Stoppable.
From Kim Possible. Aang and Katara from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Mainly because there's another ship that should have happened, in Brooke's opinion.
I loved Katara Zuko. I am a Zutara shipper.
Should have happened.
But even they couldn't make our couples list because that's a ship, not a couple.
Princess Bubblegum and Marceline from Adventure Time didn't get together to the last episode. Real shame.
Marceline the Vampire Queen.
The cops from Gravity Falls. They're cops.
But they were a couple, and they were kind of cute.
But they were cops, so ineligible. Back to Avatar. Korra and Asami from the Legend of Korra finale also took till the last episode.
Sad. Ginger and Darren from As Told by Ginger.
Broke up.
Yeah.
Eustace and Muriel from Courage the Cowardly Dog. Too scary for Brooke.
Too scary. I haven't watched that. Too scary.
Fred and Wilma Flintstone. Boomers.
Another classic.
Catra and Adora from She-Ra and the
Had to wait
Princesses
till
of Power.
Last
Very last episode. You may be sensing a theme here.
And then finally, Danny and Sam from Danny Phantom. Another slow burn, like right at the very end.
Took a while.
Yeah.
So those are all of our all of our honorable mentions. Great couples in their own right. Wish you could have seen more of them. And all that jazz. Now then, the time has come. It is now time for our number one animated couple of all time, according to us, two random people with microphones. I mean, you're foremost scholars on animation, obviously. So number one goes to none other than, it is my pleasure to present the number one couple award to Garnet from Steven Universe. Yeah! Garnet from Steven Universe, come up here and get your award. It's great. Pop sensation Estelle could not be reached to receive this award because we don't know how to contact her because she's way too famous. But it's very, very exciting. So Garnet is a character on the show Steven Universe. She is a gem, which basically means she's like an alien with a rock for a body. It's complicated. Steven Universe is cool. But anyway, there's gems. Now, Garnet is a couple because Garnet is what's called a gem fusion, which is just two gems sort of like fusing together because they have such a strong connection. All gems are also female coded, which means that this is a same-sex relationship. This is a cool lesbian relationship that was on a children's cartoon, which is very, very cool. Garnet is made up of two gems called Ruby and Sapphire.
I love Sapphire.
Ruby is voiced by Charlene Yee, and Sapphire is voiced by Erica Luttrell. They are such a good couple. They're such a good couple that they are literally combined into one person.
Even within the show, this is very rare. Like, there's not two gems that sort of combine together all the time because they love each other so much.
Right. Other characters will fuse together when the situation calls for it, but it's not like a thing they want to be doing. Except for these two, this Ruby and the Sapphire, who are so deeply in love that they cannot stay away from each other. Sometimes they do for various reasons, and we get to see that they are also still two individuals. Ruby is very hot-headed and sort of impulsive and quick to action. Sapphire is much more patient and sort of reserved. So even though so much of the show centers around them functioning as a single unified character, whenever they are apart, we do still get to see that they are individuals with their own hopes and dreams and ambitions. And I think that's really important and cool that we get to see that a healthy relationship still lets you be yourself, even as you are combining into being something more than the sum of your parts. Also,
very just progressive for its time. Even now it really is, but we're seeing more animated shows do it, right? Like you've got like She-Ra or Legend of Korra, where you're seeing same-sex relationships within an animated TV show that is marketed to children. But Steven Universe, really one of the first.
Gave them a wedding episode, which was huge and awesome and a great time.
And it's just like, it's hard to overstate really the impact that has had on other shows. You know, and going along another Cartoon Network show like Adventure Time too, like those shows that were not afraid to sort of push a boundary there have opened up so many doors for other animated shows. And,
you know, creator Rebecca Sugar faced a lot of pushback and a lot of resistance kind of every step of the way to depict this relationship. So good for them to keep pushing and make sure that this actually happened in the show. Because it has definitely made the world and made the animation world and made the world at large a better place because of it. I felt like I really wanted to push for Garnet as our number one because, one, there is the fact that such a good couple that she's one person seems hard for Bob and Linda to top.
I agree. Like, no one else can beat that. You love each other so much. You want to be together all the time as a single entity.
Pretty cool. Pretty romantic. Yeah. And also, you know, the rest of the list was all straight couples, and come on, it's 2021 now. We can do better than that. If you listened to our, you know, honorable mention, there were a number of queer relationships in that, but were sort of disqualified from full top 10 contention because we never really got to see them as relationships. We got to see them as pining, as romances sort of unfolding and slow burning, but we never got to see them as a functioning relationship for more than like half of a final episode. So what's great about Garnet and what's great about Ruby and Sapphire is that we do get to see them for kind of the run of the show functioning together and showing the full depth of their bond with each other.
Truly, they've been together the whole time, even when we didn't know it.
Mm-hmm. It was a fun reveal. This does sort of lead into like my mini sketchy side rant I want to do really quick. Again, congratulations to Garnet. Congratulations to all our competitors. Great work.
Yeah.
But it does sort of chap my lips. It does sort of grind my gears. it sort of cooks my grits when like queer relationships are relegated to like the end of a series. When they're relegated to, when you don't have any more show to make, so they can't cancel you for it. And I get why. I get that there is something thrilling about the slow burn of it all, about the journey. But I think that, the relationship is also a journey. And, when two characters finally kiss, that's in itself a destination, sort of. But it's also the start of a different journey called, dating each other. And I want there to be more shows where we can see queer relationships as journeys and not as just like the final thing to end that character's path.
I definitely agree. Because, like, I'm sitting here trying to think what animated shows have a queer relationship in them. And then you could pick something like, what is it? American Dad has two very minor background characters.
Sure.
They're in a gay relationship. And American Dad has its own problems, though,
Sure.
so I really don't want to give it that credit. And then I'm thinking, like, Loud House, Clyde's dads. He has two gay dads, which is very nice.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I'm excited to talk about Loud House eventually. But these big, high-profile relationships, the ones that people love to see in animation, who they rooted for the whole time, they have to wait until the last episode of the show.
They have to have it be an uphill battle. They can't just, like, have it be a thing that exists.
Which, is not necessarily an indictment of the creators of these shows. I'm thinking specifically of, like, She-Ra, which I really enjoy. I'm not trying to say, like, Noelle Stevenson, like, it was,
right.
Like
it was in their plan the whole time to like depict this part of those characters.
Right. It more falls on DreamWorks' shoulders, just like it falls on Nickelodeon's shoulders or Cartoon Network's shoulders. That this has to be a last episode so that people don't get mad.
I think the creators of all these shows, and the creators of the shows that have queer characters, God bless them. Thank you for your service. Truly, you're making a real difference, and I thank you for the effort and the energy they're putting in. But I do wish that, these companies and these executives would sort of let it happen more and let it happen longer, I guess.
Agreed.
But yeah, congratulations to Garnet. Well deserved. Very exciting. And thank you for listening to our Top 10 Animated Couples special. Now, as we wrap up this Nation of Animation, Brooke, do you have any real-world recommendations for the people out there?
I'm back on Animal Crossing.
Yes.
I had moved away for a little while. Originally in the beginning of the pandemic, obviously, I, like many others, couldn't put it down. And now I'm back. I'm doing it 24/7. I'm checking in every morning. I'm selling my fruit. Right now it's winter, so I'm building my snow boys.
Your perfect snow boys.
17
seconds for the bottom, 12 seconds for the top.
Yes. If you did not know, I'm going to give you a little hint on Animal Crossing. If you're building a snow boy, this will come out in February. I hope there's still snow on the ground.
There should still be. It's winter.
After you kick the snowball around and it lets you roll the bottom one for 17 Mississippi seconds. Like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3. And then roll the top one, 12 Mississippi seconds. Do it like that. Perfect snow boy every time. Little hint from me to you for Valentine's Day, my Valentine's Day gift.
Your Valentine's candy is this Animal Crossing tip.
So there you go if you're an Animal Crossing player.
Awesome.
Ryan, what are you doing in real life?
Cool. I'm also going to recommend a video game. Thinking about all the queer relationship stuff that I talked about earlier for this episode made me remember there's a great video game called Heaven Will Be Mine. It is on Steam for like Mac or PC. It's a computer game. It's not on any consoles, but it's cool. It's like a visual novel, so you can't really mess it up or do bad. You just sort of click through and choose dialogue choices. But it's about these gay like space robot pilots, these mech pilot girls, in like an alternate version of the 80s where the space program got really big, really weird. And it's about them, fighting in this big mech war, but mostly just wanting to kiss each other. And I think it's a great game. The art's really cool. It's by Worst Girl Games, and Pillow Fight are the developers who make really cool games. They are great. It's a great, cool gay, pretty video game that I highly recommend. And it's also pretty short. It's not that long at all. So you can play through it in no time at all and then get back to making your snow boys. So there you go. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back for our next episode with another romance-related special.
Woo!
So get ready for that.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's.
Happy Valentine's Day to you, Ryan.
Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day to you, Brooke.
Aww.
Yeah. Great. Okay, so thank you so much. And until next time, the state of animation is strong.
Strong.
Nation of Animation is hosted by Ryan Stevens and Brooke Aaron Smith and produced by Danny Mendoza. Our show art is by Urvashi Lele, and our theme music is by Jacob Menke. Be sure to follow us at Cartoon Book Club on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks for listening.